Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Gemini, June 20th, 2022. The moon spends the day in your sign, and you're more inclined to declare your needs and feelings or share your personal views. You are more engaged and connected than usual. You are more prone to causing a stir or getting noticed now. While you enjoy strong energy for your sense of independence, you're also making great strides with your domestic world. It can be a good time for a better feeling of harmony with family or beauty and peace in the home environment. The desire to make improvements and positive changes is building, and warmth in your personal world helps you feel more centered and focused. It seems that the more life-changing ideas you can dream up together, the better. The day's celestial configuration brings you both into brainstorming mode. You feel the need to move through a transformational experience together, to do something that will change your lives and change your outlook. You may well discover what you are looking for, and life may never be the same again. All eyes are on you as the moon enters your sign. Although you tend to be a crowd pleaser wherever you go, you do like to have your independence. So, being noticed more at work for your personality, disposition, or influence could be interesting. You may be a little overly aware of how you are acting or positioning yourself because others are taking note of your professionalism. Try not to let this intimidate you by feeling scrutinized. Focus on what you enjoy bringing to your work environment, and keep doing you instead. There is a great deal of fun to be had today. Remember that money isn't a necessary object to make this happen, however. In fact, money is a pretty lousy way to keep score. Consider the sacrifices you make each time you strive to earn more cash for your bank account. There is a dynamic feeling in the air today that is asking you to expand your mind in order to consider other ways of having fun. You will have to put up with unpleasantness in your private life, being asked repeatedly to take a stance on awkward conflicts. Some decisions may be taken that cause you great pain. Try to see this phase as a chance for inner growth. If you find the right way of doing things, you will be successful. Don't just use boring old words to get your point across. Construct puzzles, scavenger hunts, and complex body language ballets to communicate today. You can impress all the right people. Constantly tempted to seek pleasure for yourself, you don't even consider the thought of sharing intimate moments with another. If this is the way you feel, your attitude may satisfy you in the short term, but you notice something is missing, you're disenchanted. Practice self-restraint, reflect on your conduct. Try not to worry about what people think about you. Sometimes you can be a little too sensitive. You want others to like you, and you can get upset when people are aggressive or impatient. But don't take things so personally. If you can manage your emotions and remain detached today, you'll realize that people are just venting a bit. Nobody means you any harm. Cultivate that wonderful sense of humor and laugh away any stress. Be sure you don't duck out right before things are coming to a close. The energy from this day encourages you to see things through until the end. While this is something you may resist, it's an important thing to develop and do. Besides, it can be richly satisfying to see the work you first initiate come to fruition, and to receive the credit that you are due. Even if things feel boring now, stick with it. Before leaving Aquarius today, the moon's alignment with Saturn is a chance to get a better read on the impact of his retrograde turn 2 weeks ago. The moon's friendly aspect to the sun, in his last weekend in a fun, playful, romantic and creatively charged part of your chart caps off an empowering few days that is giving you the confidence to follow your heart. It was a friendly aspect between the Sun and Saturn that has already helped to empower the journey ahead and this important new review phase. With the Sun in his last and Mercury his first weekend in your romantic sector, the solar spotlight is on matters of the heart, and there is also a chance to put heart and mind on the same page. Yet this is all preparation for Venus, the planet of love's return next week and the start of what can be the most romantically charged weeks of any year. Our eyes in the sky. The airy Aquarius moon is your offbeat emotional guide for the day, urging you to forget about what other people think about you and just be your true, authentic self. This is easier said than done, but you really should have an easier go of it with this authentic, unique, and yes, tad bit rebellious lunar energy backing you up. Some great things to do now are making new friendships with interesting people you wouldn't normally include in your friend group and breaking free from stale, old life routines that no longer meet your needs. Later in the day, a Moon-Mars sextile helps you attract playmates, possibly, but not necessarily, in the sexual sense, who match your strong independent spirit and desire to experiment and think outside the box. You can form a strong partnership with this person, but having fun in the moment doesn't mean it will last forever. The desire for intimacy is strong, but satisfaction isn't always guaranteed. Don't worry about relationships ending or falling apart. As long as you make the effort to get along with others, you can easily remedy any tense situations. Mercury is still in its retrograde shadow, which means that you'll have time to make amends and clear up any misunderstandings. Knowing this removes the pressure that you could be feeling. If you're aware of how to act, then you can certainly temper yourself to act in a more appropriate manner in your relationships. Before noon, the Aquarius moon trines the Gemini sun. Under this easygoing aspect, we attract the proper alliances, moving through the day feeling calm and confident. Stressors roll off our backs, and conflict fails to provoke us. We also remain relaxed and open-minded in our engagements. With both luminaries currently in social air signs, we are particularly oriented to sharing what is on our minds. However, we are not especially self-centered, which makes us receptive to different points of view. Following this aspect's perfection, the moon begins its void of course, lasting until the late afternoon. At this time, we should avoid starting new projects, thinking of ourselves in the information gathering stage instead. Mid-afternoon, Venus in Taurus squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, provoking relational tension. This transit can create difficulties in our intimate affairs, but it can also be a productive influence if used correctly. Primarily, this square enlightens us about the fact that something is not working as smoothly as it could be within our unions. Latent factors are prompting feelings of distance, detachment, or irritation within our partnerships. This is normal. When people with individual baggage seek to align their needs, some adjustment is required. Especially once we get past the honeymoon phase, we can neglect to put in the work to meet someone where they are. Instead, we wind up meeting them where they were, even though we are in the present. Try to have patience with loved ones now. Putting in some extra effort could be all that is required to get back on track.